Hey, storyteller Ron. So I want to talk about headlines because I have actually been trying to do a little less of this and more. I'm working locally at a church, so I'm kind of focusing on that. And I've been wanting to play as opposed to GM in these games that I've been promoting on here. But I want to talk about just some headlines because this is the world that I'm trying to represent in the game and trying to get you to understand in the game of role playing Christians versus everyone else versus paganism. Uh, and I'm just looking at it in the headlines now. I kind of see with this different lens because of the my attempt at interpreting Christianity, the struggle of Christianity, the church history, and what it went up against. And what it went up against is I'm starting to see now clearly in the headlines of the day. I mean, this is Gateway Pundit. And let me just go through a couple of these just to get you to understand what paganism is. So let's go with the first one here. So GOP Representative Anna Paulina Luna reveals the dirty backroom deal that led House voting against censoring Dem Representative Stacey Plaskett for colluding with Epstein. So Stacey Plaskett had a long collusion with him to try to destroy Trump during some hearings. He was texting her very detailed. They were very close in that texting. And there was other things going on too about fundraising. So, and she's part of all these committees. The reason the Republicans chose three of them voted, they got just enough Republicans to vote to not censor her. So censor her and then remove her from committees. And she's colluded with a whatever, pedophile. The thing that everyone hates Trump for, she has actually been working with him. And they had just enough Republicans vote so that they would not censor her. And all the Democrats, of course, voted to protect her. So what happened, Representative Anna Paulina told the truth that one of the Republicans, a strong one, Corey Mills, supposedly has a horrible relationship with some beauty pageant woman. So he's single. I feel like he must have divorced his wife, getting this fame in Washington, and then having having an affair with an assistant. I don't know the details, but I'm just generalizing here. But I'm assuming that's what happens. You get that kind of power, you get women around you working with you, and lo and behold, and these women, to be honest, the women are seeking that to share that power. But of course, everything goes haywire, and they had a horrible breakup, and he threatened her with, all this stupid stuff. I am telling you, I am not immune to such sin or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm better than him. I'm just saying power corrupts, and if you get into positions of great power like that, and women are around you, flashy, professional, makeup women that she's an ex beauty pageant. That's what happens. I mean, I feel like there should be a law that the wives should go with them or something. Anyway, so because of that, they're going to let a pedophile supporter, a Democrat pedophile supporter, and every Democrat, including all over the world, is supporting her, remain in power, in positions of power in government, even though she colluded with a pedophile. And now we know openly the level of this paganism that is coming into this world. The paganism that is taking over our culture, it's taking over our voting, it's taking over the behavior of our leaders, including the Christians. If he's a Christian, I don't know, but he's divorced. He should be dealing with that. Having a girlfriend is absolutely not a Christian value. This is the world we're living in, and this is the world that I'm trying to fight against. I'm not even gotten to the worst stuff. I'm just getting to the nominal stuff within our own backyard, with our own representatives. They're living the life of a pagan, and they're voting accordingly, and they're making deals accordingly, and they're not. God is not in their hearts when they make these deals. When they vote for this Stacey Plaskett to stay in her positions of power, they're voting because of their ideology. The Democrats are voting because they're wicked. The Republicans are voting now because they're trying to deal with holding modicums of power with Corey Mills in there. And that is not a church culture. A church culture is one where we continually fellowship and admonish and deal with our own that have terrible behaviors, that are not up to the standards of God. Whew. And they're in power now. So what are we doing? We're not realizing this. We're not realizing that all politicians are corrupt. That's not the truth. The truth is we are not holding our politicians, our leaders, to the standard of what we should be, and probably ourselves either. We're not going to church, we're not fellowshipping, and we're not getting in people who are good. And these men that are our leaders are not accountable to any church. And so they can behave these ways. And it's getting worse and worse. And this is what we're up against. And here's the direction. In Burma, a godless atheist military junta, the Christians there have been persecuted. They have scam centers, and these are imprisoned. Look, imagine a life, you're a slave and you have to work on your computer. Look at that. I think there's laptops right there. These are like computers sitting there. Do they have to sit right there and do their work? It's trying to scam everyone in the world out of their money. So all your little scams you get, all the emails and all that, it doesn't come from someone who's free. It comes from people that are imprisoned and have to do it. All the street vendors here in Los Angeles are not free entrepreneurs like mom and pops trying to start a business. They're all part of the black market. They're all slaves. They all owe to the cartel. They're not free. I walk by them and I'm like, why are they allowing these things? But then I realize what they are. They're slaves. And now also the Democrats are letting this happen, this black market slavery, because they're not enforcing any of the rules. If they would enforce the rules and shut down these food street vendors, then the cartels could not enslave these people to do this. But because Democrats are letting these people out, you can tell that these food carts are all the same everywhere. They have the same stuff because they're run by black markets. There's no accountability. The Democrats do the Democrats go to the source of the food carts and do inspections or audits? No, but they do it to white supremacist Christian Americans. The Democrats are pushing for slavery. This is the penultimate ending of this. Roughly 75 billion have been stolen through cyber scams to people for the last 4 years. These are people everywhere. If you're getting into cryptocurrency, if you're getting into any kind of weird investment that they promise this big, I don't know, they promise this big return, it's a scam. And I actually know someone at our church who brought it up, and I never heard of this, and they lost $18,000 through a crypto stock, a Chinese stock that they bought. These criminal gangs are controlled. There's a coup in 21 Burma, Chinese transnational criminal networks. Americans are losing estimated $10 billion per year from this. $10 billion is going to them, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. The Myanmar military and its border guard protect profit. I'm sure that they kidnap Koreans, they torture them, or whoever they know is educated enough to do this. It's just I'm just reading through it. It's so overwhelming. That they do this. It's just at least 120,000 people are trapped inside these compounds, facing forced labor, torture, and killings for failing to meet scamming quotas. This is paganism. This is the norm. This is the norm throughout history. Pagans have built the pyramids and all these other things, ziggurats, temples, all done by slaves. This is all slavery. There's no churches. The Christian churches in this area have been persecuted and wiped out. Watch Rambo, the one where goes to Burma. This is the paganism that is on the rise. It's the default of the world, and God started with Israel to get out to the world, and then of course through Christ to get out to the world of the bride of Christ, which is the church. And the church is what's supposed to be planted in all these areas to rebuild the world, or to bring the message of Christ. Don't steal, don't covet, don't murder people. All these things, don't bear false witness. All these things they're doing, and they do it. That's the norm, right? To covet, to take. Coveting is taking someone or their property or their wife or their family or their hard work and using and taking and keeping it for your own. That's this slavery. But look at how horrible this is. They're gonna get they use. I've seen some videos of them torturing these people. This is the norm. I'm just kind of like, what the heck are we doing? You know, we're playing games. I mean, I'm not against us playing games, but are you going to church? Are you rebuilding your church? Are you rebuilding it to be strong against the world, against the politicians, the Democrats, the wicked, and against corrupt Republicans? Are you creating a church that goes out and fights against this stuff? Cannibal narco zombie gangs kill police, behead them, carve up their bodies, and harvest their organs for sale to witch doctors. That's happening 100 miles from Florida in Haiti. But that's also happening probably in Mexico too, with the cartels. Yeah, and the cartels are doing this. In Haiti, they kill police, part them. I have some horrific videos. Wednesday after Easter, I was out there with the guys. The 3 policemen were ambushed and murdered, and within minutes they were beheaded, castrated. Their body cavities were opened up, and their organs were harvested for sale to zombie witch doctors. So, I don't know. We look at the ancient red dragon. We look at liches. We look at Darth Vader, and ooh, they're scary. Ooh, they're so scary. I'm sorry. This is what my game has to offer you. And I'm not trying to make light of this. I'm just trying to say this is this is where we're headed. Even here in America, we're headed towards this. I've read so many other witches, crazed witches, drug infested witches. These people are drugged. That's the zombie right there. Every drug person can be used as a zombie warrior and go out and do cannibalistic killings and get harvest organs. They're not just killing cops, they're killing them and eating them. You know, and what are we doing? Like, what are we doing as a Christian church culture? Get back to church, get back to spend your time. And I just did a creation tour. Just look at the headlines here. Top Michigan school official can't answer how many genders there are. You know, Bill Clinton's administration had all these visitors going to Epstein Island, which is a slave harem, a harem of girls enslaved. Pope Leo clarifies immigration stance. Every nation has a right to control its borders. He's being a bit wishy-washy. The Catholic Church has always had wishy-washy as far as strength and conviction, corruption. They've had ups and downs with that, you know, in that centralized way. And they, you know, a lot of Catholics complain about Protestants being corrupt, but they've got problems too. I do love when they're strong. I do want the Catholic Church to be strong. They're obviously not very strong. They haven't been strong for centuries, it seems like, to fight this evil. But I want Protestants to step up as well. Real Protestants, not the progressives who are taking over churches. Think about this. The homosexuals and the gays have taken over churches. I mean, they've literally gone right for our throats. They've literally gone for our throats and destroyed our churches. And we're just kind of, you know, creating our happy dappiness about it all. And I'm just, I wish we would be a little more, you know, we're lukewarm, right? We're lukewarm for the Lord. The churches that don't confront politicians, don't bring out leaders and train leaders to go out and rebuke it, are lukewarm. And those, you know, Jesus, those are terrible. Nicki Minaj delivers passionate UN speech on genocide of Nigerian Christians, stands with Trump to expose crisis ignored by Biden-Harris. The first thing, whatever we do out there in the world, we have to plant churches everywhere. Those have to be bastions of sanctuaries, bastions of truth, and, I don't know, put military there. It's an insult to all the evil of the world when there's a church nearby. That's why they destroy the churches. The dictators destroy churches. They have to. And the Democrats are fine with that. Absolutely fine. Here in America, they're being replaced by mosques. The Islamo-Marxists are replacing us. Look at this. Waste of the day. Hate-filled Mamdani allies get public funding. They get our money because the Democrats run the funding, the NGOs, and where the money goes. And we Republicans or conservatives or Christians, we're just lukewarm. We're so lukewarm about all this. And I'm part of that, you know, for many years. And I've only slowly been waking up. I think God's been, you know, putting me in positions now where I got to go to church and serve and be part of it. And so I'm realizing that's really what I need to be doing, is just helping serve church. I've never done I've recently just did street evangelism with the pastor. That was weird. I definitely get humble in front of people, as opposed to social media where I rant, where all of us rant and act like we're tough. But you go out there and actually talk to people. It was pretty neat. Actually, it was a really nice day. What happened, our interactions and stuff. But I had to actually debate a pagan. Went well though. I was very nice. Anyway. Okay. It just keeps going on and on. The paganism that is taking over our country, and that there's no church. Where are the pastors in these news sources? You know, in these bad things that are happening, the Islamic takeover of the country. Where are the pastors out there? I don't see any pastors out there fighting for anything. I just don't see any. Well, and the problem is we're not supporting them. We need to support them and push them and encourage them to start fighting. We as church members. So, that's my goal. The goal is for our church to be a training ground for people to go out and fight the politics and the culture around us in Hollywood. But that's what I'm doing, and that's what you should be doing. So get to church, spend your time at church, get your ukulele, get your role-playing game there, get your fishing, your hunting, whatever it is you do. Get it going at church, and then get it out to the world. And I would say get a Tuesday once a month, not evening, political action committee group called Ecclesia. Call it an Ecclesia of your town, Ecclesia, because Ecclesia, by the way, for Greeks was voting groups. They formed ecclesias to vote in the local elections. And it just so happens that all the apostles, everyone, they were strong in Greece and writing the New Testament. The word ecclesia is what they called their churches. And we translate it into church, which is a little different meaning than ecclesia. Ecclesia was a voting group. That's how they broke down their voting groups. So, the game of life, everybody. Got to roll holy dice.